This is another big scene that was featured in like advertisements and whatnot. You cut to the International Space Station, and you play as an astronaut. And Houston contacts you. He's like, "Hey, can you like just turn and look at the horizon over there? Yeah, do you see that object?" And you see the nuclear missile going
Mhm.
towards Washington D.C. You're like, "Huh?" And like in a move where it's like, I guess they just didn't tell the astronauts or Houston that there was a war going on. They're like, "Oh,
Uh-huh.
is there any satellites being launched today?" It's like, "No, probably not." You're like, yeah, no, we're not really sure about that. We're not really sure what's going on there." And then you just see the nuclear weapon detonate in the atmosphere. And Alex, space doesn't have an atmosphere, so I'm not
Nope.
sure how this happens. It causes a shockwave,
Yep.
which once again,
Yep.
not possible in space,
Yep.
and destroys the International Space Station, flings your astronaut buddy into space to presumably die.
I'm also pretty sure what they're going for is a high atmosphere detonation, which
Yes.
I'm fairly very sure is a much lower altitude than the ISS's orbit.
Yes. Yeah, I don't think I'm sure that the ISS probably is still in some technical layer of of the atmosphere, but probably not enough to cause a significant amount of
Yeah.
shockwave. It's
Yeah.
it's all sorts of straight, and nothing about this makes sense.
No. No, and they never talk about it again.
They never talk about it again. That's the wild thing. This just sort of happens, and it's just
Yeah.
like,
No one's
well,
like, "Hey Price, you blew up the ISS and killed like 12 astronauts. The
yeah.
fuck's up with that?"
How do you feel about that? He's like, what astronauts? I don't believe in space. Yeah, so that just happens. It just happens for nothing.